Well, hi everybody, and I thought I'd have a bit of a walk and a talk about something that's been on my mind recently. So I've been thinking about the subject of leadership and confidence and consent as well, to some extent, and how all of this ties in. Now, I know I'm a channel about engineering and ideas and creativity, and I think this is all interlinked, but you can tell me what you think, I guess. So what I've been thinking about is why leadership is important and what we can all do when it comes to that, and how it interrelates with the subject of confidence. Now, confidence is one of these elusive things, but it's also one of these highly sought after things. But I'll give you a bit of a story about confidence, and it's all about a few years ago. I've very rarely ever had to call an emergency number, the emergency services, but this was the first time I ever did it, and I was at an outdoor shopping centre in a small town where I live, and I was just walking through. It was a normal day, and I noticed that there was a lady, fairly oldish lady, lying on the ground on her face, and people were looking, and I had one of those awkward moments that I'm sure most people can relate to. Everyone was looking at this, and it wasn't right, obviously, but what should happen? And eventually I just thought to myself, somebody's got to do something. So I went over and asked if she was okay, started helping, and she'd actually broken her arm, it turned out, because she'd been chasing her son, tripped over one of these low concrete benches that they had for some reason there, but yeah, she was there all alone trying to deal with this quite excitable child who didn't really fully understand what was going on. But the thing that was remarkable, I thought, is that the moment one person stood up, well, didn't stand up, but the moment one person went in to help, all of a sudden everybody wanted to help. And to be honest, my memory of my thought, I don't think I did anything particularly special. My thought looking back on it, in fact, was a bit of shame that I was stood there for what felt like a long time, looking at the situation where there was somebody clearly hurt who wanted help. And clearly there's some invisible barrier that exists that stops us acting when we know the right thing. The right thing to do, that somebody needed to step in and help, and of course everybody knew it was the right thing to do. But the thing that I'm coming to here is the idea of consent, which is that is it the right thing for me to be doing, though? What will people think if I step in? It's putting your head above the parapet, and this is actually a well documented phenomenon, that we have these things in the UK, we call them building wardens. I'm sure they've got a different name if you're in a different country there. But basically, there have been experiments done, studies done, where there have been people sat in a building, they've turned up for a psychological test or something, and they're in the waiting room, and somebody sets off the fire alarm. And of course, everybody sits there thinking, well, nobody else is getting up and running out of the building, so should I? And what happens is they know what the alarm means. There's probably a problem, but they will sit there. Even as smoke starts to come in under the door, they will sit there. And this is one of these fundamental things about crowd psychology, that people don't want to be the first person to act. And what you can do about it, what organisations can do about it, we have these people we call building wardens. And these are people who, if something starts going wrong in a building, if the alarm goes off, they immediately don a garment, a high-vis vest, which people interpret as puts you in a position of authority, and then they just go from room to room saying, come on guys, you need to get out, there's a fire alarm. And of course, the studies showed that if you get one person with the instructions to do this, then you can clear the building much more rapidly, and in the end it's safer, fewer people end up getting hurt or dying. And that's a really useful thing to know, because, well, for me particularly, it means that you can't necessarily blame individuals for not acting if they see something amiss, especially if they're in a group, because it's just the way that we are. But this is why I think confidence is very, very important. And let me pose to you a hypothetical situation. Purely hypothetical, because I don't get into politics in this channel, at least I don't want to. Imagine you were in a situation where you were living in a situation where things were sort of going wrong. That there were things happening that you don't remember ever consenting to, that you're thinking, maybe these don't work. Maybe this doesn't work, maybe it's causing a lot more damage than it actually might be doing. But everything must be okay because nobody else is doing anything. And everyone else is they just sat there, and the alarm's going off in your head maybe, or maybe outside. But everybody else is just sat there and nobody's doing anything. Well, where are the building wardens? This is an important question. And maybe somebody just asking a question or two might make a difference, because you might then be giving your consent to other members of the group to say, yeah, I can hear the bell as well. Maybe I should just say how I feel about the situation. Don't have to take any big actions, just be honest about the situation. And maybe if we all had a little bit of that authenticity, then maybe the world that we go into in the future will be better than the world would otherwise be. So let's leave it at that. And I wish you all the best. Have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you soon.